I wish you a warm welcome to Australia and in particular to the Senate. Questions without notice. Senator Dastyari.
Thank you. Mr. President, my question is to Acting Assistant Treasurer Senator Cormann. Senator, I refer you to your recent announcement regarding the Future of Financial Advice package. Is the minister aware that over 100,000 Australians have been victims of collapsed investment schemes such as Storm Financial and Timbercorp? Why is the minister winding back consumer protections, reintroducing kickbacks to financial planners and removing the opt-in that stops fees eating into savings and investments?
The Acting Assistant Treasurer, Senator Cormann.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I thank Senator Dastyari for that question. What we're winding back is the unnecessary and costly red tape, which doesn't make any difference to consumer protections, but just pushes up the cost of advice. Because on this side, what we want to see is we want people saving for their retirement, people managing their retirement, and people who are managing financial risks and seizing financial opportunities throughout their life to have advantage of high-quality advice they can trust and which is also affordable. Now, the Senator mentions the so-called opt-in requirements, which force clients to re-sign contracts with their advisors on a regular basis. After the parliamentary inquiry into Australian financial products and services after the Storm Financial collapse and so on, we had a parliamentary inquiry, and out of more than 400 submissions to that inquiry, how many submissions do you think recommended that bit of red tape? Out of more than 400 submissions, how many submissions do you think recommended that little bit of additional red tape? One. And do you know who it was? It was the Industry Super Fund Network. I said, and you know what? I mean, the inquiry chaired by Mr. Ripple was so convinced of that particular recommendation they refused to adopt it. In fact, the Ripple inquiry did not recommend the introduction of opt-in, that additional bit of red tape. But guess what? Because Minister Shorten, who was the Minister for Financial Services at the time, because he was so close to his friends in the union movement, because he was so committed to do the bidding of the union movement, what did he do? He put it into his laws. So what I say to you, the reason we are making improvements to future financial advice laws is because Labor's changes went too far. Egged on by union-dominated industry funds, went too far, and we're making sure that we get the balance right for consumers between important consumer protections while making sure that access to high-quality advice remains affordable.
Your time's expired. Senator Dastyari.
I asked the minister a supplementary question. What does the minister say to Timbercorp victims like Naomi Halpern, who joins us in the gallery today, who've had their savings stolen, and in some cases even lost their homes because of the actions of a handful of financial planners? Why is the minister removing consumer protections that safeguard against investment schemes like Timbercorp?
Minister.
Well, firstly, I empathise with anyone and everyone that is the victim of somebody who provides bad advice. All of us together, whether that is as policy makers or as industry participants, we need to continue to work to lift professional, ethical and educational standards across the financial advice industry, and a lot of that work has been happening. Now, I suspect that the events to which Senator Dastyari refers to happened during the period of the previous government. Now, what I'm saying is that none of the changes that we're making, none of the changes that we're proposing to financial advice laws will in any way reduce consumer protection arrangements that would prevent a more effective regulatory arrangement to be in place than what we are keeping the requirement for advisors to act in the best interest of their clients, and we are keeping the ban on conflicted remuneration. What we're getting rid of is Labor's additional and unnecessary red tape that was pushed on them by union-dominated industry funds.
Senator Dastyari.
I have a supplementary question. Minister, why are the financial interests of a handful of dodgy financial advisors more important than protecting the savings of hard-working people like Naomi Halpern?
No. Order. The Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I completely reject the premise of that question. What we're focused on is the public interest. We're focused on making sure that consumers across Australia can have access to high-quality advice they can trust and which is also affordable. Because as a result of the changes that Labor has introduced, the cost of advice has been going up and up and up. In Australia, the cost of advice is already comparatively high because we have got too much red tape in place. It is a matter of balance. It's a matter of making sure that we've got important consumer protection arrangements in place in a way that is appropriately efficient so that people across Australia saving for their retirement, managing their retirement and managing financial risks through life can have access to high-quality advice which is also affordable. Your changes put access to advice beyond reach of too many Australians who actually need it.